play. Itified.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another wonderful edition of the program Itified on Invicta 98.9 FM. Like you know, Itified comes your way every Wednesday at 12:30 p.m. and it runs to 1. But today's edition will be abridged. We'll have only 20 minutes to discuss what we have to discuss. And a couple of weeks back, if I recall, we were discussing a very interesting and ticklish topic. We're looking how we looked at how we can use that to fight crime, and because the topic is exhaustible, we had to decide to call on the person who was our resource person on that day to again talk about this very, very important topic, because I know it resonates with everybody, every Nigerian out there, especially at this time and age where technology is actually what we need in this country and also the world over. My name is Kevin Madu. I'll be your guide and your host. But then I've got my IT peeps in the studios. I've got Wisdom, and I've also got Fresh in the building. They'll be here with me. But then because of time constraint, I'll be talking straight with our resource person. His name is Agri Eric. He's a machine learning software development engineer for Nokia in faraway Budapest, and Budapest is the capital of Hungary. I don't know why I like stressing that. All right, then I'll go straight to Eric, who is out there. Eric, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you doing over there?
Hello, Eric.
I'm fine. Can you hear me? How are you doing over there?
All right, then we're having a bit of technical glitch. Okay, Eric, how are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Okay, wonderful. That is so good to know. A couple of weeks back, we talked extensively about artificial intelligence, but for me, I felt we were not extensive enough. And I believe there are some grounds we did not cover. So I'm hoping that you can help us do that today. How is Hungary?
Hungary is fine. Hungary is fine. I think we are not having winter as used to be. It's not that cold anymore. Everything is getting normal now. You can go out, if not for the COVID situation. Everything seemed to be very normal.
All right. We were talking about artificial intelligence the last time we spoke with you, and we said that it's a whole lot of real estate between what people know to be AI and what we know as experts, especially you, who is a machine learning intelligent programmer out there with Nokia. So what I want to know, first question I will ask you now is, I know I asked you this question some weeks back, but I really want to ask you again. How can you define artificial intelligence?
I think to me, it's simply the intelligence demonstrated by machines. You know, the intelligence demonstrated by human beings is natural intelligence, but the one by machines is called artificial intelligence.
Okay. Now, can you give us examples of AI, artificial intelligence? Let's water the ground with that. Just give us examples in our day-to-day activities.
I think where we could actually see artificial intelligence directly from our cell phones when we take pictures. You see, there are some algorithms that look at your pictures, some programs, let me call it programs now so everybody will get along, that looks at your pictures and kind of find where your face is and does some kind of smoothing. You see, sometimes you see people going for some specific models of phone because what they're actually going for is not the raw camera. The raw camera will do its job, get the raw photos. The AI engine will kind of process the raw photos and give you a kind of a hybrid quality picture that makes people to kind of go for a model at the end of the day. That's why you might see two brands of phone with 5 megapixel of camera, but with two different kind of pictures in terms of quality. I think that could be one of example, an example of artificial intelligence. Another one could be, let's say, assisted driving. You know, there are some modern cars these days that could actually take you like autopilot, like there's a Tesla autopilot, where you could actually get sleeping and the car takes over and keep taking you to your destination.
Okay.
You know?
All right then. Okay. Now to you, Eric. You know, over time you hear people talk about AI, and they say AI has come to steal our jobs from us. Now there are concerns in many quarters where people will say AI is going to probably take our jobs away from us. But what would you have to say for people who think like that or who are wired that way?
Yeah, it depends on where you're coming from. But for me, I think AI would take some jobs, but I also feel that it will also create some jobs, you know.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, it will take some and will create some. So it will take jobs like require, I think things that normally takes our time, for example, manual activity. AI could come in there and help us do that faster. And at the other time, we also need to have people like, for example, far back as some years back, there was nothing like a position like a machine learning engineer in which I am today. There was nothing like a computer vision engineer, but now there's a search in talents. And also so many companies are looking for talents that can help them build this AI system. So you see why I say it will take away some jobs in some areas and create some new high-paying jobs in other areas.
I like that part where you said new high-paying jobs. How well do AI jobs pay?
I think AI jobs pay a lot.
Okay.
Also, it depends on the country. I think machine learning jobs actually, as compared to the normal software developer jobs, also for you to be a machine learning engineer, at least you need something like a PhD or a master's degree.
Okay.
Unlike, it's not just for now, I think, but over the years it's changing because people are still getting in with bachelor's degrees. But because mostly AI involves some kind of research, some research and development, because it's kind of a very new field and a lot hasn't been done. I think what we have now is not even close to where we want to get to. So
okay. All right. Now enlighten us. What parts of crime do you think AI has been able to tackle and could tackle in the nearest future?
I think, like for example, fraud detection.
Okay.
I think artificial intelligence has been used in the area of fraud detection. For example, things like credit card theft. You can actually analyze a data set and look at activities of malicious actors and be able to get them.
Okay.
Also, the area, I think with the advent of facial recognition technology, you see, we could also have cameras that can actually also display some intelligence by actually looking at you and saying, oh, this guy want to take the bag. Oh, this guy want to steal the phone. And when you steal the phone, because we have a database of faces, we could be able to track who actually stole that phone and get to arrest that person, you see. So, but this area is kind of, will I say, not really much in use because of a lot of ethical issues and a lot of things that involve in the use of facial recognition technology. But I think AI could just assume what we can do. Just imagine a machine doing everything we can do. If we have a policeman, then we could also have an AI kind of policeman. Then if we have a writer, I think there's this GPT-3 model that is kind of like generating text. So an AI could equally write. So if you can read, an AI can read. So it's like we are moving from intelligence displayed by human beings, taking that intelligence and putting it inside machines. Although we know machines will definitely not have consciousness and not be emotional. Okay. But overall, we can at least get machines to do what we can do. Drive as we can drive. And I think that's it.
All right, Eric, having said that, it reminds me of something I saw on TV some time ago. No, I think just yesterday, where during this COVID-19 era, Denmark, a restaurant in Denmark developed a software where the faces of their workers now were captured, and then they had this nose mask that carried their faces rather than just wearing a nose mask that will cover your face. I think that is very, very interesting. I think AI is doing wonderfully well in that aspect. Then another question I want to ask you is this. Now, do you think that machines, like AI machines, can hack into people's account and steal their details? Do you think that should we be scared of that? Where a situation where we see where we think these machines are so intelligent that they can decide on their own and start hacking into our accounts or stealing from us?
Yeah, I think generally, I don't think machines could make a decision of their own. I think machines are just like slaves. Okay. So when a machine takes a decision, per se, it's because it's been programmed to do so. You get it. So
Yeah.
whatever you feed into the machine. But the why AI is kind of different from the normal programs we write is that in the normal programs, you kind of give instructions like take out this banana, break it into two, put one on one pot and put one. You see, you are giving a series of instructions. But
Okay.
AI is different. You are telling it, see a banana, watch me cut it. Then you cut it like 30 times and the AI looks at it and knows how to do it by itself.
It models after you.
Yeah, it models it after you. So
okay.
So there's a difference in the way a program works and the way AI works. So AI can also, maybe you bring it something like a plantain that doesn't actually look like a banana, and you start, AI will still assume it somehow. So it's using probability. It's thinking, it might be banana. I'm feeling this might be banana. It's 50% certain that this might be banana. So you might set it that, when it's 70% certain, then treat it as a banana. So a plantain is almost like a banana. AI will still go and break it. So that's the problem there.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question that's in connection to that. But then my colleague Fresh has a question for you.
Okay, Eric. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so Eric, I would like to ask this question: like, what's the difference, or what's the connection of AI and machine learning?
Okay, AI, machine learning is artificial intelligence is kind of like the umbrella topic. Like it's just like saying biology. It's like the umbrella topic. Machine learning is part of it.
Okay.
It's like part of it. It's like a subsection of artificial intelligence.
Okay, but like if you're to like explain it or break it down to a layman on the street, like you're talking about machine learning and you're talking about AI, like that connection, AI and machine learning, like how does it relate like to our device, laptops or anything? As in, have we encountered it in any way, the connections? Have we encountered it in any of our activities, daily activities?
Okay, yeah, what I would say is that when we talk about artificial intelligence, we are talking about the general term given to any intelligence that is being demonstrated by machines. But in machine learning, we are talking about a kind of a system of learning.
Okay.
There are different kind of learning, but we are talking about a kind of learning where you feed some kind of data, just like the ones we've been talking about. You give it some kind of data, and it learns from imitation, or it learns from what you're doing, and kind of it will now be able to do what you're doing. But in general, artificial intelligence, there could be other ways. There could be other kind of ways in which you could teach a machine, or which you could display intelligence, pass those intelligence without actually happening to train a model with some data and getting some kind of results. So artificial intelligence is kind of, maybe there might be a new way, a new technique that will originate one day that will use to teach machines how to act like human beings. It will still fall under the umbrella of artificial intelligence. But today we have machine learning under artificial intelligence. If me and you find out a way, even in our discussion today, on how we could make machines to act intelligently, then we say we can even create a new field completely under artificial intelligence.
Okay. All right. That will be all. Back to my colleague.
All right, then. All right, and thank you, Eric, for being expressive with that question. Now, another question I want to ask you is that, borrowing from the other question I asked the first time. Now, you said these machines will not think on their own except somebody programs them to do malicious activities. Now, in the case of these, are there checks put on ground to arrest such persons?
I think the way I look at that is that, so using AI for fraud, it's something I've not actually looked at, but I think you have to kind of like show him, kind of build a problem where you have to teach him how to perform that fraud. You have to feed him some kind of data of how, the AI can help you in the sense that you give it some data and you show him this is how the data look like. So model this situation and kind of do it for me.
Okay.
So what happens in that case is that if they find out you deploy an AI model, if they could trace it to you that you deployed the model and you're using it for fraud, you'll be arrested. Definitely you'll be arrested. So, but also there are some research in what they call the ethical side of AI. So not using AI for some bad intentions. using there are people that are researching on that. There's a field completely, and there's an area. So most big companies such as Google, they even have a group of scientists that are always looking at those flaws that can be committed by AI systems, and always trying to see that everything happens in the way it should happen, ethically and rightly too.
All right, Eric, in the doctor's parlance, they say brain drain when doctors leave their country to other countries to to carry out whatever it is they're carrying out. You are in faraway Hungary with the wealth of knowledge that you've got. Now, when do we see the likes of you come back to this country and give to the younger ones who are actually out there trying to do something that is IT related?
Yeah, I think everybody wants to. There's nobody that does not want to work in his country. Everybody wants to. But it's just that most of the times, we definitely don't have these big players in our country. So, and for a field like machine learning that is new, definitely, if you want to work in such a field, you definitely need to, be where it's happening. So if it starts happening, if government is able to do what it takes and companies are able to come around and it start happening, definitely people will always be where it's happening. So when you create the enabling environment for things to happen, people will come, and bubble. So I think that in our own case, it's not as if nothing is being done. We are, as a country, we have our challenges. I think very soon, people will always come back. Even myself, I can come back if I see the right opportunity. But nobody wants to come back and at the end of the day, don't have an opportunity and kind of come and even be neglected and become irrelevant. So if you are coming back and you have this assurance in you that you will definitely be put into use, and definitely, why not? Why not?
All right, Eric, I think that's about the size of the questions I'll be asking you for once of time. Eric, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me. I'm really grateful too.
All right, then. That has been Eric. He is a machine learning software development engineer for Nokia, Budapest in Hungary. And we've been talking about the application of artificial intelligence, AI, in the fight against crime in Nigeria and also out there in the entire world. And he has been very expressive with his statements, and he has answered all the questions we've thrown at him accurately. And then there's something he said that really resonated with me. The Nigerian government should try as much as possible to imbibe into the culture of ICT, which has become the norm the world over, so we can have a situation where the younger ones, or also the experts who are out there, who are Nigerians who are out there, can come back home and also lend us their own ideas on whatever they have there. We'll take for example, Emma Gwali, one of the founders of the World Wide Web. If he had come back to Nigeria earlier, probably we'll have a lot of things to learn from him. And think it's high time the Nigerian government understands this and come to the rescue of Nigerians who do not want to go into malicious activities, but want to use AI to help us grow. And I know how intelligent Nigerians are. When you meet them out there, you discover they're extremely intelligent. And for you, Eric, doing what you're doing out there, it means that you've got something up your sleeve and that you're good at your job. You know your onions. That's why you've been kept there by a foreign country. All right, that's about the size of the program. It is about time to get out of the studio. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. Those who listen to us, who tuned into Invicta FM to listen to Itified today, I want to say a big thank you to you all. And to my IT peeps who are still in the studios, Fresh, thank you for being here, and thank you for the question you asked as well. Wisdom, thank you very much for connecting us with Eric and doing what you know how to do best. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. All right, then. Until next week, same time, same station. My name remains Kevin. I'm saying have a wonderful, blissful, victorious, prosperous day ahead. Thank you.